Welcome to the 223rd episode of News Dump, where we run through the hottest topics in the Lewis County news scene and discuss. I'm local man Aaron VanTuyl, joined as always by Chronicle editor-in-chief Eric Schwartz. Chronicle photojournalist Kody Christen is back from a couple weeks off.
Good to be back.
How you feeling, man?
Feel good.
Yeah?
What can you say, a couple weeks off? He's been out shooting photos. He's been working.
He's just been unavailable.
Yeah.
This guy's been
Scratch.
working me down.
We got a guest. He's been, what are you, in the Five Timers Club now?
It's about a baker's dozen, I think.
He's been on a lot of times. Wayne Fourner is here, former mayor of Tenino, current Thurston County Commissioner.
That's right. Good evening.
And if you want to hang out, you don't have to come on the podcast. You can just be like, hey, guys, I'm coming to hang out. But you wanted to do the podcast too.
This is a fun way to hang out with you guys.
Oh, right. It's not going to be fun, Wayne.
Yeah, we
need answers.
The guy has to get his PR points in somehow.
That's true.
Do you guys have a quota of PR outreach you have to do or anything?
You know, I'm not campaigning. I'm finally, after years of being on campaign, I'm not. I'm back 4 years in office, and I can speak freely for at least two of the next.
Let it all hang out for a while.
Yeah.
All right, Wayne's here. We're happy to have him. We're also joined in spirit by sponsor Summit Funding, Shales Outfitters, and the Roof Doctor. Preambles. Let this be the first podcast to break the news to you that the Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.
No way!
Yeah.
As Philadelphia burns.
Good for Philadelphia. They will rebuild. You know who won't? The Chiefs.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah.
That was delightful. We were discussing that. That was a lot of fun to watch.
It was good to see. Yeah, we mentioned this off mic, but do you guys have a favorite instance of the Super Bowl you wanted to discuss, something that really stood out to you?
Cody?
I just enjoyed the whole game. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I enjoyed the misery of
I'm a big fan of defense.
Kansas
I like
City.
the Cooper DeJean pick six.
That was pretty good. Of course you did.
That was fun.
No surprises there. I liked, Jalen Hurts. He'd been under a little fire. People being like, maybe he's a fraud. I don't think he
Not
is.
one person said Jalen Hurts was a fraud.
Yeah, there's been takes out there.
Yeah.
You can find any take
You
if
and
you
your
look.
straw men on the internet just fist fighting them.
I was not arguing against Jalen Hurts. But there, he dropped out of the conversation of good quarterbacks, and it looks like they were wrong. He is good. Better than Patrick Mahomes, some are saying.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
It's a bad day to be a Kermit doll in Philadelphia.
Absolutely. Wayne, any Super Bowl thoughts any takes you want to pop off?
Nothing about the. It's just it's almost annoying anymore how you can't just have football.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was so much else going on.
Are you dissing Kendrick Lamar right now?
Whether it was Kendrick Lamar or Taylor or the
National treasure.
The POTUS being there's just, you can't just watch a football game anymore.
It's an event. Yeah,
it is a big event.
I would say it's the biggest event of the year, every year.
It annoys me during the Super Bowl because it's the only time when you get the commenters saying, for anyone who hasn't watched a football game in a long time, this is what this means. Laying stuff out. But no, it was fun. I had a good time. Kendrick Lamar was the highlight, though.
What was your favorite commercial?
Seal was good.
Yeah,
Seal is a seal.
The Mountain Dew commercial. It was bound to happen eventually.
The Helens mayonnaise commercial where they reenacted when Harry met Sally and had Sydney Sweeney in there was...
Yeah, I thought you were going to say
I knew that was going to be high on your list.
She's a Washington native.
Spokane, St. George's High School, yeah.
Pretty cool.
Aaron's a bit of an enthusiast.
I can see it.
A Sweeney.
Yeah.
Sweeney.
You know what?
A Sweenster? What do they call it?
A Sweenorian.
A Sweener.
Yeah.
A Sweener.
And let he among us who has not cast the first stone.
That's not what, Aaron. Pervert.
He's sitting over here. If she was a foot taller, pervert.
At least 2 feet, sir. I have another preamble. Unless you want to talk more about the Super Bowl.
All right, we've.
I didn't want Wayne to get away with it, and Cody and I were already discussing this earlier. Wayne, you've broken some promises. We were told by you directly that we would be able to go to Grand Mound In-N-Out, fill our bellies, and then go to Topgolf, and then maybe go hang out with your friend that was in the Karate Kid movie. And none of those three things have happened, and it is 2020.
Is it Ralph Macchio?
No.
Wayne, I'm 20 years old, and I've neither been to the In-N-Out nor Topgolf. You gave me hope.
He doesn't have a whole lot of life left.
As soon as I announced that, I saw that Topgolf was announcing that it was going into bankruptcy. So, I don't know if that was...
They got one taste of Thurston County and they went down.
I hope it didn't have anything to do with
We're
it.
just reading the Chronicle. Grand Mountain. The hell we are. Bankruptcy.
Shut down.
Okay, In and Out though, is that a chance? Anything?
Like we started up talks with them, and we were actually talking with their real estate company, and some other things came up and became priorities at the county.
Other things you say.
A little hot throughout the second half of last year.
Some settlements to pay, things of that nature.
Things happen.
And you don't have it on the notes, so let's just briefly touch on it. We've talked a lot on this podcast about your seatmate, Commissioner Emily Klaus. That seems to be all done now, right? Could you kind of lay out how you found out about it? Briefly describe what it was, and then tell us where we're at with it.
Yeah, I don't know how much I can and can't say, but
Well, we'll cut the parts you don't want to post.
Yeah, sure.
you will. Sure you will.
We'll totally cut them.
No,
Don't worry, we're not going to bring Emily out. Don't worry.
It is a hard and fast rule that you do not get your honey where you get your bread.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that. I mean, that it should be. It's real simple. Just don't get your honey where you get your bread. Just leave the personal relationships out of the office, and you keep yourself out of trouble.
All right. Rules to live by. That surely all of us have lived by.
Oh, absolutely. I would never. And so there was a settlement paid. Do you think it's done now? Will we be reading about this anymore?
As somebody that's I've been in public office for over a decade, and if you make a mistake, they mention it for the rest of your life.
No way.
You know what I'm saying? The internet is written in ink, and everybody makes mistakes, and everybody likes to sell newspapers, and
How dare you? You just made this personal.
Not this newspaper.
You guys are different, but that's the way it works. When,
Not
I don't consider myself the moral compass of Thurston County. I'm not qualified for that, but it's just like try to do your best, and when you make mistakes like that, they tend to hang on for a long time, and they tend to linger, and I guess you just got to own them and move on. And if the people accept that, the people accept that.
This is a two-part question. And the first part is, how much money do you make, Wayne, as a Thurston County Commissioner? How much do, in general, Thurston County Commissioners make?
We make, a Thurston County Commissioner makes now $147,000 a year.
$147,000 a year. That was why, and I won't make you comment on this or anything, but that was why I was a little surprised with our local aspect, which was a warrant for Emily Klaus for parking tickets and things like that. So it's just you guys make pretty good money.
That was a curveball. I didn't expect that headline when I woke up and saw that. That was not on my bingo card.
Yeah, the details seemed a little hard to believe. Just the financial immaturity of it all was shocking to me. I'm obviously not like a great wealthy investment guru or anything, but I can get by on far less than that salary and not have unpaid parking tickets and be asking the help for
Well, that's because you have
extra money.
I don't know the details of the parking ticket situation.
I do have Tyler backing me up, yeah.
But just needless to say, that one was an interesting and kind of a shocking headline. But I think she cleared that up.
Are things awkward on the commission now that she's returned, or is it very professional and you guys are just doing business? You
got to go in and do the people's business. You got to go in and keep things going and do your job.
So we'll give you this opportunity to admit anything controversial you've done that no one's reported yet.
In the last week or ever?
Since the last podcast appearance.
Since the last podcast appearance, I beat cancer.
There you did. I was just telling you look great.
Yeah.
You did look good. Cool. You're filling out again.
Yeah. I went down. I think I lost like 70 pounds. I went 2 months without eating.
Oh.
Yeah.
Period?
It's humanly. Yeah. Nothing. No nutrition. No.
Jeez.
So I wouldn't recommend it. Don't get cancer. Don't go 2 months without eating. But
noted.
Well, great. Yeah. Glad you're feeling better. What was the go-to meal once you got your appetite back? Was there something that you were craving, or was you just having to force it down?
No. When you get radiation done on your throat, you can't swallow anything. So it was just like getting liquids down.
Got ya.
Yeah.
Healthy liquids, water, Gatorade, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Broth.
All right. Shall we move on to news?
Yeah, let's do that.
All
Lighter
right.
subjects.
Yeah. First up.
Lighter.
Here we go. Morton's laundromat chihuahuas to go up for adoption after owner charged with animal cruelty. So a lady dragged 2 dogs into a laundromat in Morton, and someone caught it on camera. People called the cops. One of them said the lady bit them on the hand. I had to reread that to make sure it wasn't the dog.
No, it was the lady.
A cop at the said, Tina Vanham, the suspect, allegedly, quote, denied the incident and began yelling at me, at which time I asked her to calm down and asked for identification. Everybody knows that if a woman is yelling at you, the go-to move is to ask her to calm down.
They teach you that in the academy.
Great work, officer. She was taken into custody, and they impounded her dogs, which weren't licensed as is legally required. I can't believe the free state of Morton would support that type of nonsense, requiring you to license your dogs and such.
You have to in Centralia, too.
Yeah, and people are always complaining about it.
I know someone with 2 unlicensed dogs. It's my wife.
Anyway, she skipped her hearing in January, so there's a warrant out for her.
Jesus.
They were scheduled for a neutering today.
R.I.P.
Great news, dogs. We freed you from Cruella de Vanagon. Now off with your balls. God. Wayne, your thoughts on neutering?
The video of this went like pretty, we would call it Lewis County viral, but this was a step beyond. It was like actually viral. I think last time I saw the video, and she's kind of just jerking these dogs around on a chain.
Where's this video at? I haven't seen it.
It's online. I actually couldn't find it.
Chronicle
I think it
website?
might have been taken down since because I was going to try
like
to
a TikTok
embed it in the
situation?
story, and I couldn't find it. But it was out there forever.
How did this become such a big story? Like, I don't know, like woman in Morton dragging dogs around doesn't seem that out of
That's
the ordinary.
why I was noting the virility and veracity. No, really is Onalaska Farm
Virality.
Sanctuary amplified a lot of this. That's the one out. Well, it's a farm sanctuary in Onalaska. It was one of their volunteers, I believe, who was at the laundromat doing some work for them when it all happened. So it's like the worst possible time to abuse your chihuahuas is in front of.
They still have laundromats?
Yeah, man. There's one right up the street here.
Yeah.
God, he's
God,
just
not everyone-
flaunting his 100.
Not everyone makes 150,000 a year, man.
God. Wayne over here. All 3 of my homes have washer dryer hookups.
Jeez Louise.
God, get out of here, man.
Manniness in here.
Yeah, Thurston County.
Anyway, yeah.
But that's why they have a huge online presence, and they were the ones sharing the video, and they're very popular, lots of interactions, and that kind of drove it. That to answer your question.
But yeah, I was reading through this. Like, did she behead the dogs in front of people? Like, what?
Oh, God.
I mean, they're also like, look, I don't want to stand up for this person.
Well, you kind of are.
Are they puppies?
They're just chihuahuas. Like, it's tough not to drag them if you're just walking, you know?
How dare you?
I'm just saying.
Barabbas were still alive to see this.
I know. Let's you who never dragged Barabbas anywhere, I'm sure.
It's true.
Anyway, yeah, they're at the Onalaska Farm Sanctuary. And on a side note, the Farm Sanctuary was just awarded $6,500 at the inaugural 100-plus Women Who Care event.
That one was fun. So everyone who shows up gives $100. They pool it, and then you listen to presentations from them and give the money to the winner. And yes, Onalaska Farm Sanctuary won it, but they did the philanthropic thing. I can't talk today, and then gave it to the 2 other organizations, split up the money. So
That's
Boys
pretty
and
good.
Girls Club of Lewis County, and then Community Foundation, I think, of Toledo were the other 2.
Did they split it 3 ways?
I think so. I'm assuming
I think
so.
what they said when I was there is that they donated $1,000 to each of the others.
Oh, okay.
Still a very nice gesture.
Yeah, still a good
Regardless,
gesture. Yeah, but that was a fun event. So I thought, obviously, as I'm sure you did, Aaron, what if the News Dump hosted the 3+ men who don't care event?
I mean, we're kind of hosting it right now.
No,
we're
you
asking
show
Wayne
up,
for money.
We all bring $100 and pick 3 organizations. They all get to pick.
I'd be lying if
Yeah.
I'd be lying if I didn't say that it didn't cross my mind to ask when the Women Who Don't Care event happens. Well, I was there.
I could even suggest the nonprofits we could invite. O'Blarney's, the Hub, for instance.
The Women Who Don't Care event. That's
The men who don't care
My
event.
ex-girlfriends get together once a month and have that same event.
That's not a joke. That's going to your place of pain.
He's just trauma dumping at this point.
Anyway,
let's keep it professional.
weird,
Aaron. No crying on the podcast.
Anyway, ready for the next news item?
Sure. I see
Alaska.
you've written exhaustive notes on this one.
Yeah, that was the only news item I had good notes on. Onalaska couple opens barbershop and skincare clinic on Jackson Highway, sharing the space of the mermaid-themed coffee stand. This headline just tells a tale.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. It's called local news,
A
Aaron.
barbershop and skincare clinic on Jackson Highway?
Yeah. Do you think they don't have hair and skin on Jackson Highway?
Mermaid-themed coffee stand?
Think they don't have mermaids on Jackson Highway?
I was talking to Ridley about because she went out to shoot the barbershop, and she said like they were almost done at the barbershop, and the mermaid coffee stand just wheeled up and just set up shop.
Just swam on up?
Yeah,
It's mobile?
it's in a trailer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she takes
It's
it
at
to
events. It was at the Barn Stomp last Sunday.
It was also at the Winlock District Wrestling.
They're everywhere.
The weekend. Yeah.
It is mobile mermaid espresso. And the coffee stand also offers online ordering. Stephanie Rouse runs it. Yeah. And she dresses kind of like a mermaid. Not in full mermaid, like, what do you call it? A tail?
Yeah, I think
You gotta have
guess,
two
I don't-
separate legs to make coffee, Aaron.
It's true. Well, what if you're making it at a pool?
No, you didn't read the story, Cody? They fill up the stand halfway with water, and she flops around in there.
My
That's
mistake, my
like
mistake.
part of why it's the mermaid theme. Jeez.
Sorry.
You read every once in a while. Mermaid adjacent news.
Go on.
Next month, Grace Harbor County. You do some work out in Grace Harbor County, don't you, Wayne?
Yes, I do.
Firefighter out there, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You still do that?
I do. City of
How much
Aberdeen.
money do you get paid there?
God. You guys are intrusive.
Give us your taxes, Wayne.
No, they're doing the Mermaid Festival out there. Is it the whole month of April, I think?
Yeah. something
Our
like that.
intern, Tyrus VanTuyl, wrote that up. And
Oh,
we
good for
talked
him.
about sending Cody and Tyrus to the Mermaid Festival because it's every weekend through the whole month. They've expanded it.
I talked about
Westport Winery.
Yeah.
I talked about sending Tyrus to the
Oh, look,
Mermaid
you're
Festival.
in push-off
and I
mode
was
now.
hooked into it.
No. What's going to happen is we're going to get a couple of the tails for Ty and for Cody. And we're going to drive down to the Galvin Bridge and we're going to lop them both over into the Chehalis River. And so it'll be a combination like our Chehalis River trip that Isabel and Jared did. And the
Well,
Mermaid
we have to
Festival.
make it to Grace Harbor.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
hell.
You gotta flop all the way there.
Can the
I
boy,
like-
can the boy swim, Aaron?
I like Cody and Ty dressed as mermaids navigating the river more than I liked
Merman.
Isabel and
Yeah,
Jared.
That would be
navigating the
that
river.
would be excellent. And have Ridley fly the drone over them the whole time.
Yeah, merman. You're correct.
Can the boy
yes.
swim, Aaron? Did you teach him?
He does know how to swim. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Anyways, that's it for the mermaid news. But yeah, this story was
buying
pretty good. Owen will be shifting over to being our business and East County reporter when we get Dylan Rubin King here next month. And
Rubes.
so the goal is a business feature in every edition. So
Oh boy.
look forward to reading about those.
Thank goodness.
Do you dislike local enterprise, Aaron?
No, I love
As
local
a state
businesses.
man,
I love local businesses.
hate to see the private sector finding success.
Yes, I am the only public sector employee on this podcast right now.
You really think the government should seize all mermaid-related industry?
I think they should seize all coffee manufacturing indices. Tariffs, high tariffs.
Well, fair enough.
Next-
It's a good business profile, though. Go read it.
Yeah. Next item, Napline firefighters deployed to California reflect on experience fighting the Palisades fire. I threw this in here so Wayne could weigh in a little bit, but a comment from District 5 Captain Brad Bozarth said the amount of structures that burned is just unreal. It's hard to put into words even. I took pictures of it too, and even pictures don't do it justice. Yeah, Wayne, what were your thoughts on the California situation?
It's unheard of. You
Yeah.
know, each year, wildland fires have just taken off in ways that I was a wildland firefighter in the early 2000s for DNR, and we never would have expected to see any type of behavior like this. It's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like the speed or the ferocity or both?
Yeah,
or
you like that word?
ferocity?
Yeah,
that's a good
yeah,
word.
yeah, both.
Have I used that already?
Kind of. I think so. The length of the fire season is expanding. The virility. There's another.
You
one.
nailed it.
Yeah,
Virility?
that the
why he makes the
fire
big
is
bucks.
behaving in is just it's absolutely scary. And you know, like 20 years ago, we never thought this kind of thing would happen. We never left our own state to go fight fires in other states, and now it's commonplace.
Did you guys have? Are you with the Aberdeen Fire Department, right?
Correct.
I saw there were some Hoquiam guys that went out there.
Yep.
Yeah. Anybody from Aberdeen or?
No, we didn't send anybody out from Aberdeen, but a couple of Hoquiam guys went.
Gotcha. Interim Chief Greg Peterson of Lewis County District 5 estimated that the district made $50,000 responding to the Los Angeles fires. For every fire District 5 responds to as part of a state or federal contract, they are compensated for all their expenses accrued, do the deployment, and receive additional payment that goes into the general fund. So there was a lot of people complaining. I saw when they went there, they're like, well, what are we going to do if we have a fire here? I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, they don't empty the firehouse and not backfill it. And our local communities do make money off these mobilizations.
And also the odds of us having like a large scale fire event like in January in Washington, fairly low.
Yeah.
The odds of having that event in Los Angeles also fairly low.
Good point, Eric.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wayne. We need to have him on here more often. The
Next
ferocity of his comments are just most appreciated. I think there's like a point of pride to it, though, too. Like I saw a lot of commenters, like you see this thing on the news. It's on every station you go to, and just to know you've got some neighbors that are going down to help with it kind of brings it home a little bit too.
Well, it's good experience for those guys to go down there and get and bring back home, and have new tools in their toolbox when they come back to our community.
Emily also spoke to. I happened to be driving down to the Reflector last week, listening to. Don't judge me. The Lars Larson Show. I love conservative talk radio.
Go on.
Not a conservative talk radio man necessarily, but it's entertaining. But he was going off on the emissions tests that supposedly were holding up a bunch of firefighters.
I read some things in the on the Facebooks claiming to those things, but I don't know anybody firsthand that was held up due to any.
That was their experience too. They were like, well, they basically made sure our equipment was fine, and then it's like a one-time check, so you don't have to get checked.
And you do that when you go into any fire camp, because when you go in there, some of these engines, that may come from, some of these smaller departments, they're maybe not well maintained. And then once they get into the fire camp, this was kind of an old scam that some of the private engines would do too. They'd get in there, and once they got in there, everything that failed on the engine was then billed to the fire.
I see.
So they have to check them before they check into the fire. Otherwise, the government's on the hook for repairing some of the things that happen with the engine.
It's a great take. I had not thought about that, though. That makes perfect sense.
The other consideration, and Wayne, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but fire trucks typically, like operating locally, don't make a 8 or 9 or 10 hour drive.
No.
And so that's a consideration we getting down. They want to check everything out first.
Yeah.
All right. Next item. Lewis County Coffee, Jay Gordon, Dale Merton among honorees at Economic Alliance Banquet. This is the big one.
We wait all year for this.
Your favorite banquet of the year. Oh. How was the food? How was the spread? How were the drinks?
Oh, I'm
How
glad
many
you
hands
asked,
did you
Aaron,
shake?
Because I did not go.
Cody.
I did not go.
Wow.
Ridley went to that one, and our new reporter, Jacob Moore. But yeah, no, thank you for noting that it is my favorite banquet to attend. So.
If you would have attended, yeah.
If I would have attended. Just
well, you're more a
sure
fan of the
cards.
Lewis County Destitute Alliance than the Economic Alliance, right?
Hey, if I'm being honest about local banquets, I have to say, based on my experience, Chamber of Commerce pulls off the best banquet. You know why? They're in and out. They know everybody just wants to eat. They want to hear the awards. And they want to go home.
Yeah.
That's it. That's no shots to anyone else. But once, you hit 2 hours, this banquet's going a little long, We all got lives. We've got things to do.
They gave out some awards.
I mean, you don't. You could go to all these banquets and stay as long as you wanted.
I would never be invited.
That's accurate. Accurate.
The Gale and Carolyn Shaw Industry Award went to Dale Merton, Chief Operations Officer of Toledo Tel, who was unable to attend. Wow.
Yeah, Fred Ryder picked it up for him, former Chehalis Mayor, Toledo Tel executive.
Angie Twining and Sam and Spike Magnuson, owners of the Lewis County Coffee Co., won the Community Commitment Award. And then the Buck Hubbard Staff Award went to Lisa Goodman, Marketing Director of Benaroya. Oh, Chronicle's owner and publisher Chad Taylor. Oh, he announced this year's recipient. I was like, did Chad won the
That would have been pretty funny if he gave himself the Russ Money Award.
Yeah, the Russ Money Recreation Resource Stewardship Award went to
Jay Gordon. Office of the Shales Basin, Director of the Washington State Dairy Federation. We've done a lot of work with him. He's a Grace Harbor County guy.
All right.
I want to say that we've been to his property just to write about the sandhill cranes that show up there from time to time.
Oh.
But he's been a source off and on over the years. Big mover shaker. I thought he was a perfect guy for the award. Chad, I think, came up with that idea. And I thought it was good.
All right.
Russ Money, great Chronicle writer. Great patron of local watering holes.
Legendary barman, yeah.
Allegedly 86d from a bar, too.
A tough bar to get 86th from, too.
Oh, you're talking about the tower specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you know that it's hard to get 86 from there?
I've been in there. And
Just an adamant Sirens reader.
Yeah. Next item. We're one step away from being sued. Thurston County forms a work group to address jail space crisis.
Oh, that was the other Thurston County story that we had. Yeah.
Yep.
The jail is too full, Wayne.
It's interesting because it's a big jail, and the way it was constructed, isn't really doesn't really fit the current demographics of the jail stayer, the jail user. Anymore. So you've got it was built as the ARC, the Adult Restitution Center, or I think that's what it was called. And so it's a large campus with a lot of open spaces. And probably 20 years ago, the lower level offender was what populated the jails. And so kind of rehabilitation and kind of restoration was the way of the kind of the way that the jail was set up. But anymore, the jail populations are typically high violent folks or kind of mental health offenders, and so they can't stay in those open, sprawling campuses. They need individual cells. They can't be celled up together. So in an attempt to move away from kind of the jail of old and create a more open, expansive, kind of friendlier, user-friendly jail. We kind of missed the mark on the current demographics.
You're saying you want to go soft on crime, Wayne. That's what I'm hearing here. Just joking. I get what you're saying. The quote from the bump quote from the headline came from Derek Sanders, and what he had to say was, generally speaking, no one really likes the thought of building more jails or building more prisons, but I do think that is still outweighed by the fact that no one likes to think of people being crammed inhumanely into a jail or prison. Those two topics are clashing pretty hard right now. We've had disability groups come through. It just feels like we're one step away from being sued on this issue. And then he laid out a lot of what Wayne just articulated, which was a lot of the space is being used by people with mental illnesses. He says we have an entire quadrant of our jail inside the max unit that has space for 2 beds in a cell that is only housing 1 person. The Charlie unit, a quadrant double-tiered single cells, houses between 29 and 31 inmates in each of the 4 units. He said there have been many fights in one of the 60 inmate dorms, calling it the Wild West, and adding that the county is paying overtime indefinitely to have a second corrections deputy monitoring it.
Yeah, Sanders also said the jail was supposed to have a second half built, but the county doesn't have $30 to $50 million lying around to build it like it was always intended.
Maybe if our commissioners weren't making
$147,000
a month.
Where'd the money go, Wayne?
A year.
How many OnlyFans subscriptions does $30 to $50 million buy?
Next.
You guys ready for an ad break?
Yeah, I think so. Let's call it at that.
Hi, this is Jeff and Julie from Fairway Lanes.
Jeff and I met Jasek of Summit Funding at our bowling center, so when we fell in love with this community and it was time to relocate, we knew we would be calling Summit Funding.
They understand that everyone has a unique situation when buying a home.
He had already helped 2 of our employees get into their own homes. The Summit Funding team exceeded our expectations. It was a seamless experience with great communication from his whole team.
Thank you to Summit Funding for making our buying experience special and memorable.
All right, we're back. It's time for segments, and first up, we've got Tales from the Takes page. I have prepared nothing.
As is typical.
As always. But we got a McCroskey has blessed us with a column.
You were a fan of his last column.
I think I'm going to be a fan of this one, too.
This one, yeah.
Honestly, look, I've said it for years. The thing I want McCroskey to write about is his own experiences as a law enforcement officer. And in this one, he's got behavior of commissioner and sheriff, both questionable in recent dispute. Doesn't sound like he's going to line up any hot takes in here, but I'm glad to see him,
I tried
sticking to sports.
Those videos.
Yeah?
The dog videos?
Yeah. So this is the Commissioner Lindsay Pollock. We talked a little bit about it last week. You don't have it as a news item, so might as well just tuck it in here.
Jump it in there.
Commissioner Lindsay Pollock's husband, Scott Pollock, has had, and I'm assuming Lindsay's part of this as far as the dispute goes, but there's been a dispute with a neighbor. It's lasted about 10 years. In that time, there's been, according to Scott Pollock, hundreds of calls to 911. According to the sheriff's office, 84 to 100. A lot. There's been a lot of calls. Aaron, you and I have even picked up some anecdotal reporting, secondhand from a Lewis County dispatcher who said this is kind of a talk about town.
Yeah.
So it's just constantly calling to report that the neighbor's dog, ducks, chickens are on the property, or that they're being threatened, or that the neighbor is mooning him or professing her love for him. Just a just a mess. I read every single
It just
report.
all sounds weird. The
It's a
video's
mess.
weird.
Okay, and
We
it's a
all
mess.
need to pitch in and build a wall.
Yeah, there's kind of a wall
They
there.
have a wall.
And just for some context, it's not like
He goes around.
it's not like we just learned about this. It was pretty heavy as far as tips go, trying to get us to report on this before the election last time when Pollock was running. And to me, it's kind of sensitive because it's a 10-year property dispute. I'm not disputing that her husband feels threatened and harassed by the neighbor. So it's like, it did not feel right to just roll out right before the election and be like, Lewis County Commissioner's husband is a drain on resources for it. Like, that's what the tipsters would have wanted.
Yeah.
But it all kind of spilled out in a Lewis County Commissioner's meeting because one of the deputies that has responded at one point referred charges against Scott Pollock for the neighborhood dispute, who has a protection order, I believe, or harassment order against the neighbor. And then that deputy was promoted to detective, and so the commissioner used that as an opportunity to say, hey, this deputy has a Brady letter and a complaint to the Criminal Justice Commission, and then one of the complaints was from her husband.
Was the Brady letter related to that? Okay, that's a completely different.
Separate,
okay,
yeah.
that was where I got a little confused. I was trying to, like, if the Brady letter was
it's
related
confusing.
to the complaint from.
No,
Okay.
it's not. It was linked to her wearing Proud Boys apparel when she worked for Clark County.
Okay.
If I understand correctly, the prior complaint, it didn't address her doing it while she was an officer, so it was rejected. And then someone has made a subsequent complaint based on the fact that she was wearing it or representing Proud Boys in some fashion while she was at Clark County.
How did
so
that
we're
result
like
in a Brady
7
letter?
years later, and it comes back. Brady letters, I am told by the Thurston County Sheriff via comment, are handed out pretty liberally in Lewis County. And so when she came on at the Napavine Police Department, the Lewis County Prosecutor's Office wrote a Brady letter basically saying that this happened. I saw Derek Sanders commenting online recently saying it's not about dishonesty, so maybe one shouldn't have
That's
been.
what Brady letters
Yes.
are all about. You've lied. You've lied.
Sanders'
Officially
take,
lied.
yes, his
And
take
you are
was
now-
Lewis
you
County
can't
does it
be an
differently than
exculpatory
everyone.
witness.
Right. So she got the Brady letter. One of the complaints prior to Commissioner Pollock bringing it up was filed by her husband. So the sheriff then says this is kind of retaliation. Also, you're bullying this employee, basically. So if you followed that, congratulations, because it's super convoluted, messy. But it just felt like it spilled out into the open. You have Commissioner Swope basically saying the same thing as the sheriff. We couldn't really ignore it anymore. It's like it's time to come out with it. And as part of that, we did get a bunch of the videos of the neighborhood dispute, and you can draw whatever conclusion you want from it.
I think that's the way you do it.
It's
You
just a lot.
You put it all out there.
Yeah.
Everybody figure it out.
And then I've seen people say, oh, you're attacking the commissioner. It's a hit piece. And it's like at some point, we can't win because you're either going to be accused of doing a hit piece or hiding the fact that deputies are being called out there hundreds of times. Like, so it is a draw. It's messy. It's small
Those
town
neighbor
news.
disputes can get so ugly. And I feel bad for both parties, really.
Yeah, it sounds rough.
Yeah.
Like if you read through all the reports, it's just like never ending. And it's just like,
Just
you can't-
waking up in the morning with a cup of coffee and looking at your door and just being uncomfortable in your own home.
yeah, it sounds rough. I don't want to like minimize, like I don't debate that Scott Pollock feels attacked at all. It's like, but at a certain point, you got to put it all out there, let people draw their own conclusions. There's not really anything to decide. There's not like arrive at this correct conclusion and then you've successfully processed the news. It's just a lot. So anyways, McCroskey wrote, hey, this is messy. In his email to me, he was like, this is kind of like soap opera-ish. And I just responded as the world
I
turns.
agree with him on this one.
He says, Sheriff Snaza, like, why are you promoting someone with the Brady letter? Commissioner Pollock, why are you dragging out something that directly involves you? That was kind of the take of his column.
Yeah.
That's really all I have to say about that. Sorry for getting too talkative.
No,
It's a
you're
really
all right.
busy story, though.
It was. I'm going to be honest. I didn't read the whole thing.
I
Didn't
think-
watch the video.
that's what
There's
I
a
heard
lot to
too.
unpack. I tried to watch the video.
It's a long video. I mean, I don't.
and
I
it
don't
got
remember the time.
confusing. Like, is the dog barking at the front of the yard again? What, who precipitated the barking?
It's messy, and it's one of those ones. I don't enjoy doing this. I can tell you, Emily, who wrote it up, did not enjoy this story at all.
I think Brady letters can be kind of mitigated.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's not a death sentence necessarily, but you got to take them seriously.
Yeah, and wearing Proud Boys gear, bad look. Like, and I've said in the past, like, if you're a law enforcement, if I as a journalist commit I steal someone else's work, libel, or I commit libel. I just make some sort of erroneous claim. They write a story about it. I don't get to just leave that behind at any point.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like I get to go to a new job.
What year was that?
2017, 18, I think.
Because I don't want to get into it. But like you don't know what it. Maybe somebody didn't even know what that was when they were. But I don't want to.
Well, her thing was they investigated it. She was in an abusive relationship with a member of the Proud Boys. When she decided she didn't want to be in the relationship anymore, he decided that he was going to destroy her career and brought out all of this. That's what she says, anyways. So she has a story for it. If you talk to people that work with her, which I have, they have nothing but nice things to say. Good detective, whatever. But again, doesn't mean that it goes away. Like, you know that, and we talked about that. If you're a politician, you do something, it's going to follow you forever. It's like whether you embrace it, apologize, get better, move on.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Own it.
really all you
Own
can
it.
do. Yeah.
Fess up, make yourself better, move on.
So, anyways, we were talking about how you really respect John McCroskey and his views and share his political alignment.
He's right about this one.
Yeah.
Look, I'll come down and hard as I need to on McCroskey when he spouts as usual. Like, I just watched Fox News for 25 minutes straight, and let me tell you what I saw. But on this one, I wish you would write this kind of thing more often rather than just regurgitate what he saw on the darkest corners of Twitter or wherever he gets his social media.
X.
Yes.
It's the first time
the
you've
X,
come
the
close
everything app.
enough for me to see you on your high road up there.
Yeah.
Up on your high horse.
John Braun has a column. Legislators have unique opportunity to help prepare for the silver tsunami. And I really thought this was going to be a Arm the Children column.
The silver tsunami?
People getting
everybody
older.
getting
Is that
old at
about
once.
the boomers?
Yeah.
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 I'd never heard that term, but I like it. It's kind of poetic.
I thought he was going to weave this into, like maybe we just build a whole bunch of ferries and just start like shoving them on there and be like, oh, yeah, it'll reach shore eventually. Go. Goodbye. Goodbye.
No,
But
that's
no,
not what it was.
Go to
it
Port
was actually
Angeles.
about like, what if we took
Our
Evergreen
print
and
readership
just-
would plummet, Aaron.
I know.
It was more about turning Evergreen State College into a University of Washington higher education facility.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm a coug.
Yeah?
I just,
How do you feel about...
anything to do with you, Dub.
Cody's trying to fist bump you there.
I'm a coug.
You're
Yeah.
a Centralia College man, Cody.
For a few
Future.
more weeks.
Yeah,
Future
you're an
Coug.
aspiring
Future
Coug.
Coug.
Are you going over there?
Yeah, next year.
Nice.
He's going to kill it over there. He's going to do a great job.
Yes.
Gonna run the paper.
Oh yeah.
I'm kidding. I don't know. I just threw that out. Hopefully.
Speak your mind, Cody.
Hey, the Evergreen. Is that what it is? It
Yeah,
the
Daily
Yeah,
Evergreen. Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah.
Daily
I hope.
Evergreen.
Told you I'm a
hope-
Coug.
I hope to work for the Daily Evergreen.
I think you will have some pretty good qualifications to get that job.
Yeah, you've done a good
Tell
job.
me you know
Have
the
some
commissioner.
clips.
I've already been offered a.
Tell me you know Wayne. Tell me you know Wayne, and he makes $147,000
Oh, stop.
at one of his jobs.
Letter to the editor. Lewis County deserves representatives who focus on real solutions, not political theater. Gasp. Who's it about?
Yeah, that's a good letter. That was from the Lewis County Democrats chair, Zach. Is it Eckstein? I think so. I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah.
He's been writing about a letter, I'm not saying a week, but every couple of weeks. And
Good.
I think that's great. The Lewis County Democrats, I'm not saying they haven't been active, but they've had pretty much the same leadership for a really long time. And he came in and we wrote a profile on him. He has refreshed the website. They're holding more regular meetings. And I appreciate that he's trying to get the message of the party out.
Yeah.
Because in Lewis County, you often just get a bit of an echo chamber of a lot of conservative views and a few of the same liberal commentators over and over again. No offense to Marty Ansley out there in Cinnabar.
Yeah.
But he's kind of like the lightning rod litter writer. So it's nice to have some other progressive perspectives.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the roof doctor?
Of course I want to talk about the roof doctor. Wayne, we were wondering if there's any power you have to make it to where any roofs that get installed in Thurston County for government buildings, that you make sure you get your free estimate from the roof doctor first.
Did you say free estimate?
Free!
Yeah, describe
Wow.
Describe the bureaucratic RFP.
Now looking for
System
free
to us.
estimates on roof jobs.
It's a lot to ask, but we're just kind of wondering if any Thurston County Courthouse construction, if we could just get the whole thing blanketed in the roof doctor, you're going to be a lot safer.
I mean, anything's better than the blue tarps we have up there now.
Your constituents are going to be thankful for it because it's a free estimate.
Free estimate.
Sounds like you're in need of one of those free estimates if you got blue tarps on your roof.
Free estimate.
Yeah.
Call our friends at the Roof Doctor, 360-736-0246. They've got locations in Chehalis, Bremerton, Hoquiam, Longview, Olympia, Shelton, Tacoma, all over. They could even throw some solar power up there. You know, that's popular in Thurston County, Olympia specifically. People love this solar power. New roofing, re-roofing, roof repair, roof cleaning, emergency roofing. And as I mentioned, they will do solar. Visit theroofdoctor.com to learn more about their deals and free estimates.
I'm going to dip into the Google reviews here, where they have a 4.5 stars.
Too low.
Half a star less than
Stop the steal.
than this podcast somehow. Let's see. Well, this is 7 months ago, but Jody says, Manuel was amazing. I needed roof replacement on a real estate transaction. I was given his name. He responded to my message quickly and gave me the same day bid. From start to finish, his communication and efforts to get his work done was exceptional. This home not only needed a roof, but it needed a front porch roof with clear poly panels and porch flooring replaced. His work was amazing. He was able to get it done before the transaction closed. And in my mind, I have a roofer for life.
Hell yeah.
That's really what they are, too. Let's see. Peggy, 5 stars. Roof Doctor's a great company to work with. Communication with man. Somebody needs to give Manuel
He's a hard worker.
damn raise. Because Manuel in the office was good. The crew was courteous and very hardworking. It's actually beautiful. I'm very satisfied. Those roofs are beautiful, though. Sometimes I just kind of like walk around the neighborhood looking for the Roof Doctor roofs because you can tell when you see them.
You walk up Pearl Street and you're like, there's one.
They're just kind of like glistening, you know? They've got like a glow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready for People's Champion of the Week?
Yeah, do you have
We have a 6-way tie.
6-way tie? Okay.
The Chronicle's 2024 People of the Year, celebrating giants of the community who departed in 2024. Daryl Lund, Ron Brown, Lee Coombs, Bill Brumsicle, Jack State, and Frank Mason. Rank them.
Ooh. Oh. I can't do that.
You wrote the story. Come on. Who'd you lead with?
Okay, so I'll tell you the order I went with.
Rank them, coward.
The order I went with was the order that it was sent to me by Coralie, our CEO, who I admire and respect.
You didn't want to go
have a healthy fear of.
You didn't want to go order of their date of.
Honestly, she sent me the list and I agreed with it. I mean, it was a great list. There's maybe 1 or 2 additional ones that we could have had on there. And
Daryl Lund completely overtook my Facebook feed.
Yeah.
Like there was so much outpouring of love for that person. It was impressive.
Daryl Lund was great. If I'm being partial, Daryl Lund was the one I was most closely connected to of this list. I won't say that my power rankings begin with Daryl Lund, but this article does begin with Daryl Lund. Yeah, it was a great story. Truth be told, I wrote a long intro.
You
for
wrote
it.
the story.
I wrote a long intro for it, and then just kind of like parsed through the archives of each of them. But yeah, I mean, how do you pick one? I imagine your power rankings, if I were to guess yours, would go Ron Brown, Jack State, Daryl Lund, probably Frank Mason, Bill Brumsicle, Lee Coombs. Did I get your order right?
Yeah, I would go Ron Brown number 1 just because he's like you. He's the one I worked with the most.
I think of all of them, his was the one where I felt like the least. Like I knew when I started to write that little blurb, like this isn't gonna do it justice.
Yeah,
like you're not really doing it for all of them, but Ron Brown's really hard. Like he was here forever.
He coached basketball for 50 years.
Yeah, for a half century.
And he's from Forks, just like you.
He came to Centralia when my dad was born.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. Mm-hmm. So, and yeah, Forks guy. He doesn't get enough love in Forks, though.
He had to leave a basketball season to fight in, like, Korea.
And it just, like, his biggest flex is he never had a technical foul in all that time.
Yeah.
Like, never.
I would make it, like, one game.
Especially coaching Centralia. My goodness.
Well. Ooh, ouch.
That was a low blow, man. Yes, it was.
Deal with some frustrations that are unique to a Centralia coach. Is all I'm saying.
That was absolutely a Chavis.
I'm a Centralia guy. Come on.
Are you?
Easy.
You were just taunting your forks.
Jeez.
Do you have a Sirens banger of the week? I don't have anything queued up.
Is
there any sick headlines?
There wasn't really any sick headlines. So the Sirens is a place of pain, Aaron. We're crime and misfortune. It's featured. But I did upload today. Nope, nothing good on here. I pulled up today's Sirens. Child struck by vehicle. Shales man arrested for assault. Inappropriate communications with a minor. There's nothing. There's nothing funny here at all.
Okay.
There was so this story was interesting, at least. Railfan viewers report in-progress assault near train tracks in Chehalis on Saturday. Yeah. Are you a Railfan guy?
No, but I've hung out with
You're
them.
familiar with it.
Yeah, like they've invited me out to their little. It's so
to
odd.
their man cave to watch YouTube videos of trains.
No. Like
He's covering up. He's a top 5% subscriber.
Like I've gotten phone call. Hey Wayne, me and the rail fans are sitting over here at such and such railway, and I'm like, okay, you want to come check it out? Okay, and nothing else going on. And I've done it twice and gone and just visited with the rail fans, and the things that they know about a train going by, like it's mind-boggling. Like you sit there with them. And a train goes by, and they can tell me where it came from, where it originated, where it switched, what it's hauling, how much it weighs. Like the knowledge from those folks is absurd. And then they told me about these cameras that they have. And the one here is actually it's nationally renowned. And so there are people watching these Railfan cameras in Centralia or Chehalis, wherever it is, from all over the country. And they just sit there and geek out on what those trains are hauling and how the logistics of it. It's fascinating, really.
Wow.
The former Rochester fire chief, Robert Scott.
That was our tipster for this story.
Yeah, he's the one that hey Wayne, I've known him for years, being a firefighter and all. He's the one that's called me out. Hey, come down and meet my Railfan buddies. And he's written all these magazine articles and
Robert Scott.
Yeah, Robert. He's a great guy.
Yeah. No,
he's the tipster, huh?
Yeah. He was always good to us, and he was the one who submitted a news item or a news tip this morning, and we were able to link it up to a police report. And we're like, "Yep, Chehalis police are searching for a male suspect accused of assaulting a woman and trying to force her into a vehicle near railroad tracks in Chehalis after Railfan viewers witnessed the assault and reported it." We've had other news items from them, too.
Good job, Chief Scott. And he was a dispatcher for a long time, too. He knows his job.
He was fantastic. Yeah. He was really, really good. Just there'd be a brush fire or something, he'd invite us out. And he was smart about it, because it's we don't like to see things burn, but he at least understood, if you report on the people who are dealing with it, at least people will understand. It takes a little bit of an investment, and this stuff costs money. Likewise with the trains. I think the last time we had one was some kids playing chicken. They were just sitting on the train tracks till the very last minute, and we did a screen grab of that. But this is right at the Lewis County Historical Museum. I think the camera is up on the second floor pointing down. And so, as of the writing of this, he might have been arrested by now. They haven't caught him, but if you're a train aficionado though, and you see a crime happening, I'm sure that's exciting.
Yeah,
just like a rear window situation.
So we'll do it. Let's see. Let's do a real time here. I've got the link.
Are you pulling it up?
Pulling up the Railfan here. What do we got?
For a while, we were toying with the idea of an economic development kind of thing. Tenino trains. We wanted to put a Railfan
you should.
Camera
That'd
in.
be fun.
I'm not the mayor there anymore.
Are you? No, actually, there is absolutely jack squat going on this right now. I see some cars driving by. I don't know. Cody, can you drive over to the museum and stand on the railroad tracks?
Make it weird.
Yeah, no, this is just nothing. Just a live feed. What was funny, though, is when I was trying to find this link when I was uploading the story today, as I was on the live feed, Robert jumped into the comments, and everybody's like, "Oh, Robert, what are you doing this afternoon?" And they're having a whole catch-up in there. So, a lot of fun. So there's your Sirens Banger of the Week, Aaron.
Wow, I never thought we'd get to the point where we are just live podcasting about the events on a camera that watches an unoccupied railroad.
We should get a rail fan on us watching the rail fan in
just a live stream, like a riff track style.
Yeah.
Holy shit, look at that train.
Get Robert on here talking about trains.
Live reaction.
That would be fun. Train people, man. They are a dedicated bunch. They love their trains.
Very interesting.
Pete Castor, former Chronicle guy, his dad's a big train guy.
Big train guy,
yeah.
How's Pete doing?
Oh, man. Well, probably terribly. I'm sure his health is poor. But
Why am I laughing?
he's still alive, though, if that's what you're
he's
asking.
fine.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. Well, he's a guy.
He's a guy.
All right. Chehalis Outfitters, are you ready to cue this up? If you
sure.
want to get outfitted to go sit outside and do some live train viewing without the camera involved,
Well played.
where would you go?
Well, you need to get to Chehalis Outfitters, and I would suggest getting there before Valentine's Day because they have a
Well, that's where I
huge
do all my
sale.
Valentine's shopping.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got everything there. Guns,
Uh-huh.
knives,
Uh-huh.
more guns,
First aid kits?
guns. They've got it all. Wayne, are you aware that Chehalis Outfitters has the second largest selection of women's Carhartt clothing in all of this globe?
So if you want to get the
Really?
second largest woman in the
That's-
world some Carhartt.
Honestly,
really
their
crazy,
shoe
yeah.
selection
Pretty good.
is amazing.
Yeah, they got
You want
some
boots? That's the place to go.
I'm told they recently had their boot sale in which they donate some of the proceeds to the Lewis County Food Bank. Over the years, the business has been really big about letting us know about it, but former Chronicle employee, current store manager, Chehalis Outfitters, has not told me the total amount yet, which I find like a little more respectable. It's like, we gave the money, so what? Not a big deal. We don't need any coverage for it.
Yeah.
But we would like some coverage at some point. They have lots of flowers. Let's see what you can get. You can get barefoot root trees are 20% off.
Ooh.
If you're the type that needs to get like gifts for your children for Valentine's Day, never really seen it myself. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
get
not my
children
thing.
gifts for anything.
No.
You can also get toys there. They've got this 12-piece Big Farm Adventure toy set from John Deere.
It's pretty cool.
Getting to know Ty down in the newsroom. He might like something like that.
Yeah, he's a big tractor guy.
Start to think about him a little bit more. And I've been meaning to talk to you about that. You can get flannel. I see this red and black flannel here that looks right on track with your metrosexual logger.
You keep bringing that up. Yeah.
It's funny every time, so I just keep doing it. I don't know what these are, but I'm intrigued. American Endurance belts are all 20% off.
Uh-huh.
What's an endurance belt?
That's the one you put on when you go to the buffet, I think.
Oh, okay. Not when your T is low?
No.
Okay. I was just checking. You can get some waders, specifically women's Neptune bib waders, only $64.95. All sorts of boots and shoes. There's a whole bunch of clam digging that's been approved recently, so you can go there and get yourself an aluminum clam gun for
they look
$80.
nice.
Save yourself 10% off. And did I mention guns, knives?
Yeah.
They've got them. Head on down to Chehalis Outfitters. A lot going on there. Those are just,
What's the
those are just
address?
the highlights. Why do you always ask me that? Like,
I'd just like to see
when
if I
I-
remember
when
it.
I
It's
don't-
1757 North National Avenue in Chehalis.
Phone number is 360-200-5099.
Okay.
There you go.
I don't have any Facebook comments of the week. Does that
What a
disappoint
shame.
you?
That's a.
Do you want me to look some up real quick?
No,
Are you sure?
We could just pass. I'm fine.
I
Fine
don't
with
know.
passing.
Maybe there's something good on here. What if we're missing it? What if somebody's just had the best comment of all time?
I
and we're
doubt
missing
that.
it.
I doubt that.
Let me just scroll real quick.
It's been pretty dark on there lately. I'm not
They
gonna
were
lie to
pretty
you.
brutal with
lately?
me.
Yeah, they beat Wayne up. Did you see that?
I got kind of beat. I don't know. Was I beat up?
What'd you get beat up for?
What was my
He was
comment?
just commenting. Like, that's the thing. I don't think you really got beaten up. But if you did, you shouldn't have. You were just saying, if there's going to be frozen grants from the federal government.
Yeah, my comment to the world and my fellow commissioners is like, hey, if the faucet's going to get shut off, we should reevaluate our spending plans.
Yeah.
And
It's fair.
Like, but it's fascinating. You say that, and depending on what side of the spectrum you fall on, you've got something to say.
Yeah.
Like it's such a simple statement. Hey, if the money's not going to be coming, we should stop spending it.
Yeah, and if you're, it doesn't take like a political genius or like serious follower of the news to know that if Donald Trump, the president of these United States, is looking to penalize a state, it probably will be Washington.
Yeah.
In
Hey, we're in the
terms of
crosshairs.
like what
That's the
they
way it
stand
is.
for. Yeah.
But I mean, people have lots of opinions about that. But
Yeah.
it is what it is my thing.
But
so.
it is the bottom line.
Yeah.
Like it's if you that was my thing. Is your statement was. It was just stating the obvious.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
We
Tighten the
should
belt.
probably be aware
Tighten the
that.
belt. But that's what he wants too. So like the people that
Yeah.
are complaining about that, I mean,
Yeah,
they should just be like, yeah, tighten the belt.
yeah. People have gotten feisty lately, the commenters. Anything involving Donald Trump is once again very viral on Facebook, whereas I think for a long time before he took the presidency again, the algorithm, I'm just talking as a web bro here.
Go on.
It was driving down stuff like that. Like you wouldn't get a whole lot of traction. Like I think they were trying to, but ever since the election, it's like that's what they want. I told Aaron, it's kind of like Twitter. It feels like the algorithm wants us to fight, in the comments. Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Curious.
It is curious.
I'm just reading the comments on a column, massive tax increase proposed for single-payer health care in Washington State. The commenters are furious. This one says, Washington State already has the worst medical care I've ever received in my life. This would make it even worse. Guaranteed. Somebody says, you haven't been to any other states, have you? And she says, it's the fourth state I've lived in as an adult. That same commenter says to go back to the other states.
I can't take the comments, man. Everybody's so mean to each other in there.
It's brutal.
Why? Why is everybody like that?
And on this one, everybody's like, they want to tax us to death. Well, no shit. They would tax you to give your single-payer health care. Do you know how much money you would save? Do you know how much the average person pays for health care?
Come on.
Do you know how much does your health care cost a month?
I don't know. I'm taken care of here at CT Publishing, so I don't know.
How much does Shannon Corley would tell you how much health insurance policies are for every employee? What the employer's
I pay
share
it.
is.
I don't.
No,
check.
the employer's share is quite large.
Fair.
Yeah, yours is probably like 15-20% of that.
Are you flexing
all
your
that comes
insurance
out.
knowledge on
No,
me right
I'm just
now?
saying everybody acts like,
Go
oh
back
my
to your
God, a
big
tax to pay for
ivory
something.
tower.
You're already paying for it.
Yeah, well.
It would just it's a money saver in the long run.
This is not your
on
pulpit,
several levels. It's just common sense. Jesus Christ. People, another 50 cents. Ah, I'd rather die in the street with my private health insurance that I pay $1,000 a month for, and it covers nothing unless my head is rolling off.
Wow, that's not true. No one said that. Man. Facebook comments of the week are supposed to be for the people, Aaron, not for you.
Yeah.
He's taking their time.
Spinning his own agenda.
It
over
is.
here.
It's
Yeah,
really
my own
disgusting.
agenda, everybody should have health care, and Cody's your you fucking loser.
It's gross, Aaron.
Precisely.
You want Kody to pay for your health care, and I would not have it. I'm not going to sit here and make Kody pay for that. Wayne can afford it. He makes $147,000.
Wayne has
At one
taxpayer-funded health care.
Just Google how much a firefighter in Aberdeen makes.
You need to quit.
Ask ChatGPT.
I will.
Oh,
And then ask ChatGPT to write a mean letter to the person making that money.
Future of transgender athletes uncertain in Washington State following executive order. Ooh, 24
surely
comments.
those comments will be great.
Let's read these.
No, don't. Let's do a roundup of the
Yeah,
the
tell
news.
me what news I missed on this.
We'll have a fresh batch of crime news from Emily. I haven't been able to upload it all yet. One of them's Morton man accused of breaking windows to neighbor's apartment, smashing car. That one was recently uploaded. We talked about jail space. One of my favorite news items is the new residence at Wolf Haven in Tenino.
Ooh.
Your old stomping grounds. Did you ever think it was
Still
weird
my
just
stomping
to have a
grounds.
wolf sanctuary there?
You know, I grew up with it. I love it. They're great.
Can you hear, like, if you live in Tenino proper, can you hear the wolves?
If you go to the Lady of the Lake restaurant
Mm-hmm.
and you sit out on the
Off the lake.
veranda and watch the beautiful lake, best views.
Mm-hmm.
That is the best restaurant view in all of Thurston County. You can hear the wolves howling. And it's
That's
pretty damn cool.
That is cool. So they would just be just over the hill from them, right?
It's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's your dream, Aaron, living on Offit Lake.
It is, yeah. I'm keeping
Bathing
an eye
in the
out.
toxic algae every morning.
I don't want to bathe in it. I just want to live on the lake and like row a boat across the lake and go to the Lady of the Lake.
It's a nice space.
I can't.
That's it.
I can't shit on that dream, Aaron. That's
I
beautiful.
have a simple dream, all right?
They got 3 new residents, including 2 wolf dogs. That's a combination of wolf and dog, Aaron.
Thank you.
And then 1 3-legged wild wolf that injured its leg at some point and had to have it cut off. Ridley went there on Friday and got some photos. The story's more or less a news release. I still think it's really cool. If I have like a family member come in from like out of town, we'll at least drive out
Yeah.
there and
Oh,
you
the place is
listen to the
world-renowned.
wolves. It's pretty cool. It's one of the things like you can list all the things. And Aaron knows I'll get on my soapbox here on Tenino being the cool city in our coverage area. But like you can exhaust everything that's cool about Tenino and be like, oh yeah, we also have a bunch of wolves.
Yeah, all our
Like,
wolves. As kids, one of our favorite things to do was prank call.
Wolf Haven?
No, the residents around Wolf Haven and say that we were Wolf Haven and the wolves got loose.
That's pretty
Like
mean.
we did that, you know, in our 11,
messed up, man.
12-year-old
It's pretty messed up considering that those same residents had to deal with that tiger that got loose from the music festival that one time. Like, they're shook from that, you know? And then you're calling
That was
them.
an epic hoax.
Yeah. Hoax? What? That hoax has still taken a Chronicle reporter or two over the years.
Yeah.
Just so you know. If
I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, well, they occasionally they'll find the coverage and there's still like deadpan straight coverage of it somewhere.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, did you hear about this tiger? Like, I think we should write about this.
I forgot about that. Like, I need to add that into my things to write about.
Yeah, it's the tiger's fun. Next Operation Adoption event is set for March 8th. Aaron, you can finally go get yourself a dog or cat so you don't feel so lonely and down and out about life.
Yeah.
It'll make me very happy.
I was a little lost at first. I thought we were adopting the wolves.
No, I was
Dragging
moving.
into
I
a
was moving
Morton
quickly.
laundromat.
Another Thurston County news item: Sheriff voices support for Bob Ferguson's $100 million police hiring plan. This fits the category of local news outlets using Sheriff Sanders' Facebook page in order to produce news. I find it shameful, but this was one of our reporters who did it this time.
I endorse it.
Yeah, well, he produces a lot. It's like
yeah.
almost like just like set up
He's
an
the
RSS
hardest working
feed.
man in show business.
Yeah, he does a lot. We had a report from Investigate West this morning, which they opened their stuff up for reuse. Washington state bill that would reduce sentences for inmates with juvenile felonies moves through the legislature. Pretty good piece. Not bad. Statewide bans on baiting and feeding wildlife are proposed by WDFW. You said we didn't have a lot of news.
I have big news for you.
What's that?
I'm reading the comments on these. Senator Patty Murray says meeting with
Shit,
RFK
no.
Jr. was most troubling she's had in 32 years.
No.
There are 442 comments on this.
Stop it.
No.
The end.
Freedom.
We're done.
They're all measured, aren't they?
I like this.
They're all
So
well-balanced takes.
So she didn't hear what she wanted so she left, shaking my head. I just imagine the conversation, like her going, so RFK, like, how do you feel about medicine? And he's like, I'm against it. She's
No,
like,
you
I'm
have to
out
do
of
it in
here.
his voice.
I'm against it.
That wasn't close.
You
You know he has a medical condition, right?
It's a brainworm.
Oh yeah, how did he get it?
A vaccine, Aaron.
Doritos.
All these people that are like, he's gonna save the country. What are you talking about?
You don't know that, Aaron. Come on. Be
There's
fair.
one guy that's like, I've worked
Vaccines
in.
are giving the children autism, Aaron.
I have 30 years experience in public health,
for
and I can
Kody.
say he's a terribly unqualified person. And then somebody's like, 30 years of indoctrination. It's like, just shut up. Just go talk to a fucking doctor for once in your life, people. Jesus Christ.
Man, why you gotta take the Lord's name in vain so much, Aaron?
F-bomb, too.
It's
God,
just-
man.
You know what?
It's hurtful.
It's a family broadcast.
Us future
No,
residents
it's not.
of heaven.
We'll be there quickly if RFK gets his way.
Taking you away from comments. We also had in a departure for Washington state governors. Bob Ferguson avoids news conferences. This is a Seattle Times story.
I don't get this one.
No,
He's been in
it
office
is
how long?
disappointing. Yeah.
Like 2
Yeah,
weeks.
That's fair.
right? Like
How
how
often
many
do you
news
hold a press
conferences?
conference,
How many
Wayne?
should he have done by now?
That's fair. And that's kind of like the take that you got from, which I have firsthand knowledge that Ferguson's communications aide, Brianna Aho, quite good at her job. Very
Did
good
she
at her
dunk
job.
on you a couple times?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. We had some errant takes from time to time. And she's very good at parsing through them. I agree with you that it's a little early, and that was the comment from Brianna was
irresponsible journalism.
I wouldn't call it that because I do think he probably should have done a news conference by now. If he was Jay Inslee, he would have already done 5. I don't think it's unfair to compare what's happened in the first month, less than a month, to your point. If only to make sure that there is some sort of transparency in the future, at least to let them know that
He's accessible.
that
I've
they're
seen him
watching it.
twice since he took
Yeah,
office.
I can't argue with that. There hasn't been a time where so far, in dating back to his time as AG, where you couldn't get a comment. They're very responsive. So I get that. I think having them come out and do the news conference is helpful in one way.
Yeah. I liked his initial message. I like that he's trying to be a bridge builder. I like that he's trying to give everybody a chance. It seems like a good start.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that. I agree with you. I also It's not like I read this story and I was like, Ferguson!
Yeah.
Like, you jerk. I didn't read it that way, but it was interesting to me. And I guess we'll just see what happens. I'm interested in your perspective, though, that you just think that the Seattle Times has committed crimes here with their reporting.
Absolutely. They're no Centralia Chronicle.
Just to follow up on Cody's question,
right.
when was your last news conference?
Yeah, how often do you hold a news
What are
conference?
you hiding?
Wayne?
What do you think he's doing here? Yeah.
Right now. I am accessible.
I bet you Bob Ferguson would come on this podcast.
Let's ask.
He wouldn't come on this podcast.
No.
I wouldn't even ask. It's a waste of the governor's time.
I don't know.
Aren't we like the only
I feel like
newspaper
there's
in
an
the state
outside
that
shot
didn't
that
endorse him?
like maybe he
Which is
would.
all the reason more that he should come on
Right?
your podcast.
Right? If he wasn't,
Yeah,
if he
you
wasn't
are
scared,
you are positioned well.
yeah. If
What
he was
if he comes
confident in
on-
Win
himself,
us over. Win us over.
exactly.
down here,
If he was
Fergie.
confident in himself, he would come on this podcast.
Yeah.
He just comes in and so cool. You think you're better than me?
To be fair, too, you have to say with Bob, I have to say personally, when he was Attorney General, he was the only statewide official who proactively reached out to us and would come down here and do the Ed Board thing. Where
Really?
we'd sit down. Yeah, so it's like, no, I think I'm agreeing with you. It's like you're 22 days in, you haven't done a press conference, you must not be transparent. But, you know, as AG, a very unpopular in Lewis County Democrat AG, just coming down all the time. He did the Rotary circuit, come down here and do the Rotary Club. So, yeah, I agree. Let's just sit on it and wait and see how this plays out. What's like the burning question you have for Bob Ferguson right now, anyways? Like if there was a news conference.
I would it be chess related? Just the crutch for journalists
So
everywhere.
embarrassing. I've taken every Bob Ferguson chess lead and sent it to Aaron because it's like
What?
I
know he's a chess
once you
master.
once you notice it
chess.
though, it's like the crutch for journalists when they're writing about Bob Ferguson. It's like the leads always have something about chess. Like a lot
Yeah.
of times.
Is he like a
It's
world
we
champion
get
or
it.
something? What's the
He's
big
Allegedly.
he
Accomplished
likes to
chess
play
player.
chess.
Allegedly.
Like,
I thought you were saying
He's
chess
allegedly
at first.
like a chess
like right
master.
here.
But you get a lot of
like he's just making it up.
Allegedly.
You just get a lot of journalists that want to be like Bob Ferguson plays chess, like,
Yeah,
and then like
yeah.
wrap it into whatever he's doing legislatively. It's
It's
lazy.
cheap.
Let's see what else. We had senior night for WF West girls basketball team. I have an email currently awaiting response from a student chiding me that we were not at the WF West boys basketball team senior night.
When was that?
I don't know. We missed it. We were there. We covered the game, but we didn't get it.
As a sports photographer, I feel like I should include that we only take photos and cover senior nights when we happen to be at a game that's a
Yeah,
senior night
that's
and we're there
kinda
early
nice.
enough because
Yeah.
it's usually
Yeah.
like a half hour before the game. It's a really rare occurrence.
It's nice though when it does happen.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
not
Yeah.
nearly as big of a thing now as I feel like it was a few years ago, where they would call you and be like, now that everybody has a goddamn camera, like if you want pictures of your senior night on Facebook, like you can just do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's nothing holding you back.
Yeah, I wish we could get all of them. It's the same thing for like homecoming season. You got some great homecoming stuff at Rochester, I remember. But
Yeah,
it's,
same. Like
it's
we
luck
don't,
of the draw.
We don't pick those out ahead of time though. It's just games we happen to be at that are homecoming games.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I was covering a football game and they were doing homecoming, I would make sure to get down like who won stuff and put it in like a notes section at the end of the game. But
you
it
wouldn't take
wasn't a
photos, though.
priority, obviously.
I got a lot more news, but I'll leave it on this one. Washington State Senate votes to officially adopt century-old nickname. This was a Jeff Wilson piece of legislation.
Oh.
The nickname is Get Strapped, Washington. Grab your gats.
Are you strapped, Jeff? Probably. Let me check my pockets.
I don't know. Probably. Yeah.
shirt.
But yeah, no, the Evergreen State is official now. Apparently they passed it back in the 1800s, but never like carried it through.
That's
So,
really
like,
surprising to me that was never official. It's like
Jeff Wilson's been trying to pass this for 3 sessions now. It
all these
passed
years
out
they
of the
told me
Senate,
this in
but-
elementary school. They were just lying to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can't believe
It
it.
Yeah.
passed out
well-
of the Senate. We'll see if the House takes it up. It's one of those things that people criticize no matter what, because either you don't care about the topic or it's like, why are you spending time on this? Which is kind of like the dominating one. But
What else were they
anyways.
lying to me about? Mount St. Helens?
Yeah, not a real mountain.
It's a conspiracy.
It's an inside job.
my perusal of
Mount St. Helens was an inside job.
It's like my favorite meme I've ever seen.
I've never
doesn't
seen
melt mountains.
Doesn't melt mountains.
I'll take any opportunity I can to talk about that.
I want that T-shirt. Does it exist?
Oh, we got to redo the title now. Fountains of Wayne was good, but we got to go with Mount St. Helens was an inside job.
All right, we can redo that.
Anyways, my perusal of the news has taken me back to News Dump episode 222, so I think you were right. We didn't do a lot this week.
We're sponsored by Summit Funding, Shields Outfitters, and the Roof Doctor. Leave a review and rating on Apple Podcast if you want, or send us an email at chroniclenewsdump@gmail.com.